Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for removing that. Hey, Hans.
Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm
Fantastic.
doing awesome.
We got some action. We got a little
We
action.
do. We do. Amazon is out, and so far, so good. This is the one I was looking for to probably have a good earnings cycle. Expectations were low. The stock was down today. Net sales $180.2 billion, 170 versus 177.75 estimate. Solid top line beat. AWS sells 33 billion, continues to be robust. Earnings per share $1.95 versus $1.57 estimate. They had a $2.5 billion FTC legal settlement, $1.8 billion in severance charges, AI and infra demand, strong demand cited in AI and core cloud infrastructure. Net sales 206 to 213 billion, healthy holiday and cloud growth expectations. Operating income 21 to 26 billion suggests substantial profit ramp into year end. Amazon didn't just deliver. They, you ordered McDonald's and you got yourself a five-star cheeseburger, right?
They gave you the Wagyu burger. But that's good. That's a good sign. It's a good sign because I think people, as much as we've seen almost the notion that spending money is actually okay in a way, we've seen some evidence of that lately, and I think that has something to do with the idea that it's almost existential now, right? No one wants to have to spend a lot of money, but if you're not keeping up, you're going to be running into problems 3, 5, 10 years down the line. So I think, but at the same time, look what happened to Meta. They're maybe not delivering quite the monetization that people wanted. So suddenly investors kind of ran out of patience, and the Amazon is going to be a relief because I think that cloud number was a little bit of a concern.
There's good spend. I think what we're learning is there's good spend and bad spend. Amazon and Walmart, good spend. This just further, I think, makes me want to short Target.
Yeah, I do not want to try to pick the bottom on that.
What? Target is such a... How does a company go from darling to so bad so fast? And folks, I know there's going to be some folks saying, oh, they got all woke, blah, blah, blah. No. There's Amazon Prime. There's Walmart Plus. Somebody here name Target's subscription services and bonus stuff. Anybody?
No, they are not. I remember we started to call it Target.
Yeah.
That was kind of the fancy upscale way of saying it. It's back to Target now.
It's Targetto. That's from Ted. I like that, Ted. Temu is better. Yeah, I mean, Target is coming out of this. We're gonna get Walmart earnings on the 20th. Actually the day after. Yeah, who's like, ooh, I'm a Red Circle. Anybody here a Red Circle member? Right? There are a couple hundred people here. I guarantee you over half of you are Prime members and a chunk of you are Walmart Plus. And Lynn is a Red Circle member. We got Lynn.
Goss is a member, but he never uses it.
I listen, I like Target when I'm there. But like I don't go because Lauren just orders what she needs on Prime. Or I'll go on Walmart. Walmart Plus comes with my credit card. So it just, yeah, Target is a disaster, but Amazon looks awesome. Now Reddit, it appears Reddit is out as well. Let's see what we got from Reddit.
They loved it last time. Let's take a look. They absolutely loved it.
It was down $7. All right, Reddit sales 584 million versus an estimated 550. EPS 80 cents versus an estimated 52. EBITDA 236 million versus 196. Guidance 660 million versus 638. EBITDA 280 versus 260. Stock should be up. These are all really a really strong beat. Coinbase is also out. Revenue $150 versus 121. Rev 187 billion versus an estimated 178. Don't look terrible.
Little pop. Let's see what they were expecting there in the options. I'm sure it was more than $7.
Yeah. Netflix just announced the 10-for-1 split.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. One of my faves. How do you go wrong with Netflix?
It's funny they didn't announce that in July when the stock was $1,300 and now it's $1,100 and they're doing it. Maybe a way to prop up the stock.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, you know what? Reddit is, well, think about Reddit, Meta. I mean, very, very advertising heavy. Google's got a whole bunch of other stuff going on. And I think with ChatGPT, with OpenAI deciding, okay, advertising is going to have to be a part of it. I think that's just a little bit of a squishy area now where investors are want to sort of see how that kind of plays out a little bit. And Reddit is, there's only so much they can get. They signed a new deal. I think it was with Google. Their data is very valuable. It's real person data. These days that's going to be a very valuable asset. But there's only so much you can kind of charge for that. So I have to dig into those numbers a little bit, but.
Yeah, I like Reddit. Like Facebook, Meta laid the model for them. They either should be bought by Google.
Yeah, that could happen.
Or Apple, maybe.
That's true. That almost puts you on, if you want to get closer to a Meta and the incredible real life community that is impossible for almost anyone else to touch, not a bad purchase.
No, absolutely not.
Not that
you
expensive.
Guys remember Google tried to do a Facebook, what was that, like 10 years ago? Remember it was like Google Circles? And it just failed spectacularly. Absolutely failed spectacularly. Reddit recovering here. I think Reddit's going to be up by tomorrow. Apple's not going to come out for another minute or two here. Usually they wait until futures close. I got a bad feeling on these Apple earnings.
Well, Apple's been a weird one. Apple's kind of rallying. I mean, it's a very expensive stock given the growth rate of this company. So they're really there's this belief that they are going to be, there's going to be an equipment upgrade cycle. There's going to be, a need for AI in your pocket. And somehow these guys are going to figure out how to deliver that. So there has been a lot of optimism as opposed to Google, which was, for the last $100 has been kind of cheap from a metrics standpoint because, people were negative on search and all that, including me. At one point I was quite negative. Now it's my biggest position. So that's kind of a tale of two sort of metrics there, right?
Google is at an all-time high and its PE is 27.
Exactly. And I think
Apple,
it should be, Apple's up
35. There. Apple, which has not innovated anything in 10 years. Right? When was the last time they came up with anything that anybody really, wow, the glasses were an absolute flop. The watch is nice, but it's kind of an afterthought. they figured out a way to sell people headphones that used to come with it.
But they took away the little thing. You can't even get regular headphones on this thing. You got to now get the earbuds. And my wife's like, well, I don't want to have all that negative energy.
Earbuds. It's like, and they do it on purpose so that because they know you're going to lose one of those earbuds and you have to buy a second set.
That's right. They're too expensive to lose.
And if you're lucky, between the two sets, you'll lose one for each ear and you'll end up with a full set. If you're lucky. All right. Apple not out yet.
Yeah. I don't understand people who spend $300 on those things. Like, that is way too risky for me.
Yeah.
I lose those things constantly.
They own Beats. That was a purchase. Apple not out yet. Still waiting on that one.
Yeah, so that's really been the story. So it'll be very interesting to see, because Google came out, they said basically search is under control, right? So that was the relief point for Google was search and monetization, which they said, listen, we're monetizing as well as we did before. So the different initiatives that they've taken, which is actually pretty cool. Google was always kind of in that comfortable position of, hey, we've been doing this for 25 years. You can't touch us on search. You can't touch us on data, maybe Meta on data gathering and all that. So, they were kind of sitting around comfortably, and then all these upstarts come along, the chat GPTs, and they had to scramble. And I got to say, they did it, right? They delivered, yeah. I mean, they're also in the right place at the right time. Like, I was thinking about this today, YouTube. I mean, we're going to have a world just of, content left, right, and center. And Google is just going to absorb all of that. That's going to turn into ad revenue. They're just kind of in the right place. They have a little bit of everything. They're, one of the best AI companies out there, if not the best.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of their more savvy deals was with Apple getting continue to do search. And now if you have the updated version of if you have the up-to-date Apple software, when you use Safari, you're getting Google AI at the top. I know everyone loves ChatGPT. Feels like MySpace. Feels like MySpace. Amazon continuing to look really strong, up 10%. The market was looking for less than that, about 7%. And so it is outperforming. So far I feel pretty good. My two convictions out of the Mag 8 to go along into that I thought were going to perform, Google and Amazon. Now if Apple goes up $50, I'm going to have egg on my face, because I think that's the one that's most likely to actually get kneecapped. Meta already, I don't think it's going to do worse than Meta. I don't think anything could.
No.
But
Meta almost closed at 66666. So I'm concerned about that.
What is your buy point on Meta? Because I know we're going to get that question. What is your buy point?
I personally like to, and I did have this question today, and I said, you know what? I have a bit of a position, so I don't like to add to positions that are going against me. Believe it or not, I prefer to add to this once it starts acting well. I don't care if I miss the bottom. It is a phenomenal name. So this is not a name where you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to, lose all my money, and, or this thing's just going to go down for the next 10 years. This is a great company, and they're actually doing better than this move reflects today. So I always like the kind of 2-day rule, 3-day rule, Mark, just kind of let things settle, because when you get a big move like this, you have a lot of, people who need to kind of get out. They have no choice because it hits certain triggers, and you want to let that kind of sort of play out a little bit and just kind of observe it for a couple days.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is one we may set up a long-term trade and trade zone around this one. we just did a long-term gold play, like expiring in June of next year. Meta might kind of set up for that because they are really well positioned. I get it. I mean, the amount of time that teenagers and people I'm married to are on Instagram is, pretty, pretty spectacular. Facebook is still in use. The one thing I don't get is WhatsApp. How do they monetize WhatsApp?
They do that so poorly. It is a train wreck, that thing. Even though so many people use it, they just it is not user friendly in many ways. I don't know why they can pay some guy $500 million to come work for them, but they can't make that thing actually work better.
Hans, we just got one of your favorites announcing Cloudflare Net.
Yes.
562 million in sales versus an estimated 545. EPS of 27 cents a share versus the estimated 23. Net income 102 million versus an estimated 8.8. RPO up 43%. They raised guidance on both top and bottom line. Really, really good earnings for Net. This is one of the ones you said a year ago when we started talking AI. You said this is one of the foundational pieces for AI. You can't have it without Cloudflare.
No, you do. The internet doesn't exactly function without Cloudflare. So it's kind of like, it's a bit like Micron with memory. There's certain things you just need more of. And if you think the internet's about to shrink, Net's not for you. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure this is a company that's going to do well.
All right. Now watch out in NVIDIA. The U.S. trade rep just said Blackwells were not on the table with China. That is going to be a problem for Netflix.
For NVIDIA,
frankly, they shouldn't be on the thing. It's like putting Blackwells on the table with China is like putting the F-35 on the table with China.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll give you the F-35, but we'll take out the overhead display and the ashtrays. That's gonna, so it's not. We're not giving you all the good stuff.
We're only gonna sell it to you in stick shift.
That's right. Only stick shift. And in purple.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm sometime soon I'm gonna get myself an 82 vet, and I'm gonna have to relearn stick. I haven't driven a stick in 25 years, 30 years.
Do they even make stick? I don't even know if they make stick shift.
You can get only on supercars.
Yeah. Or do they have
right. They have this, yeah. And then there's like hybrid ones where like you can put it to manual and you press a button to shift.
You know what? That's cheating. I remember seeing those videos,
really
Ayrton Senna driving through Monaco, having to actually move his hand off the steering wheel and use the stick, clutch shift, all that. Now it's just like, it's too easy.
Yeah. The paddles you got to paddle. So, but the old ones, I'm going to get like an 81 or 82 T-top in, I think, blue or silver. That's my plan. Lauren's going to be like, you are in the middle of you're having a midlife crisis. No, I've wanted that car since I was 15.
You deserve it, Mark. You deserve it. Get the bell bottoms to go with it.
Thank you, Hans.
Yeah. You know what? You got to pay yourself sometimes. You can't just take it with you.
You're not wrong. All right. MSTR reporting.
Oh boy. That thing hit new recent lows today. I mean, that is a train wreck if I've ever seen one. You've been negative on that for a long time, Mark. You've said this is going to be a sign of, and crypto has been very, very weak lately, which is strange because it's very risk on. And even as high beta stocks have sort of continued to move up, the AI names, the energy names, the sort of that whole ecosystem, crypto has not participated. And it's a little bit of a conundrum because if you look at crypto, it is no longer this kind of under the radar, it's time to beat the man kind of thing. It generally moves with with levered NASDAQ, for example. Overlay the two, they kind of look the same. And lately it has not done well. And that could be a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, no, I mean, Bitcoin, as long as it stays above $100,000, I don't think people get worried. MSTR owns Bitcoin at 74,000 on average right now. And if it starts to dip below there, you're going to have these bondholders starting to hedge, and you could enter a doom loop on crypto. Still nothing on Apple. I think that might not hit till
5-ish. Yeah, maybe
till at least 4:30, maybe 4:30. It is up. How does MSTR generate money? I think they do it up because it's a trust. They do it off of, they get a lot of leverage off of that crypto, and I think they monetize it. Let's just update the names that we're looking at. MSTR is up on this news, but it was down huge today. Currently up $13. Amazon continues to climb, 243, up 20. Net up about $4. So looking to break about, basically recovering what it gave away today. Reddit is now back up again. It's over $200 again.
Wow.
I think when Reddit beats earnings, it can really fly. So this could be a fun one to jump in on.
I think we got about a $40 move last time, $50 move. Yeah. And I actually went into earnings with a longer term straddle because the options were cheap enough. And normally you got to be careful with straddles because they're going to crush that option pricing. Yeah. And it did well. It did well because the long-term options were just a little bit too cheap. Coin, what were they looking for on Coin here? They were looking for $23 and they got $3.
Well, after it dropped 20 today. So, definitely not getting a lot out of that. MasterCard has reported things look pretty good for them. They're up. They were down 90 cents today, up $5. Looks like they beat on both bottom and top. Said demand looks strong. Netflix did not report, but just announced that they're doing a 10 for 1. Up $33. Traders, this is actually kind of counterintuitive, but it's going to be a good long into the split. Post split, these stocks tend to sell off. Hans and I have been at this a combined north of 50 years, and I've seen these splits multiple times. Buy a put about 2 days after the split is actually enforced, and you're probably going to make some money.
Yeah, they really do run it up into those events. I can't remember who did it, if it was Chipotle or
Chipotle did one. Amazon one, or Apple is out. All right, let's see what we got. And it is down. Apple is currently down $10. It's Apple though, so it'll probably get bought. I don't see anything official yet.
Yeah, you know what? The MasterCard, as we wait for this to sort of come out, MasterCard, pretty good earnings. I think people are sort of looking for that as a little bit of a guide because we had some good numbers from American Express. But as we sort of see this world become a little bit more bifurcated in terms of, there's the wealthy and then there's, others who are just struggling. Unfortunately, with inflation and now job issues. So, it's good to see some decent numbers from MasterCard because Amex tends to be, that's the upper crust. A lot of them, they do well. So, it's good to continue to see signs that things are stabilizing. We're seeing delinquency rates come down. We're seeing good sign. Bankruptcies are now pointing down as well. So for all the doom and gloomers out there, it's a recession. We're actually seeing quite a few positive signs. So don't believe all the doom and gloom.
No. All right. So Apple Q4 EPS $1.85 versus 177. Rev 102.4 versus 102.2. So not a huge beat there. Services revenue 28.75 versus 28.1. And here's why it's down. Greater China revenue 14.49 billion versus an estimate 16.43 billion. They missed on China. That is why I believe Apple is down. I'll read more of this rev because I know people are care. iPhone revenue. Oh, here's another reason. 49 billion versus an estimated 50 billion. Mac revenue 8.73 versus 8.6 beat. iPad revenue in line. Who buys that? How often are people buying iPads nowadays?
That's true. Yeah.
Services revenue, small beat. Wearables, small beat. China, big miss.
That had to be maybe just a touch expected on the China side, maybe just because of the tensions. I wonder if they'll shrug that off, and maybe there's another number in there that they don't like. You were mentioning iPhone sales. I know people are excited about that new iPhone. Supposedly it's selling well.
Yeah. I don't know, man. How many times can they sell you a new phone?
I know. Well, but that's the thing, right? I think, I'm getting constructive on a few things like Dell computer, because I think in this, as AI kind of plays out, people are going to want to upgrade to handle. That's why you see the memory makers doing really, really well. I think people are going to want the new servers, use some new equipment to basically handle things. Now, I don't know if you need that necessarily in your pocket at this point. I think I can get ChatGPT on my phone just fine. So we have to see how that, that need sort of develops a little bit.
Yeah. And, I feel like they're really behind in AI. And Tim Cook is making a bet that AI is going to be commoditized. And I am not a believer in that. I am not a believer that AI is going to be commoditized. What do you think? What do you think on that, Hans?
I think I kind of feel like at some point it's not AI itself, right? It's how you put it to use. Agentic AI. How do you turn AI? I mean, AI is great. $20, you get something that can do things you could never do before. But it's how we kind of spin that into use cases. So I almost feel like eventually these platforms just sort of, is one going to be a little bit better, 2% better? Is one going to be 2%, not as good? The amazing thing is it's very, people can be fairly agnostic. I think it was ChatGPT. No, it was one of the platforms lately that said, if you want to switch from somebody else, because you know how it learns about you, they have modules that will basically bring over your personality from another one. So there's really no need to really stay in one or another in particular. Yeah. But we can see that the benefits are, at Microsoft, Google, because they have these productivity tools that are already very sticky with consumers, with clients, users. And when you add on AI, it just kind of makes it even more sticky, and that creates amazing pricing power, right? So if your Excel just gets amazing. Like I watched a video the other day. Charlie sent it to me. It was just like unbelievable what you can do now with AI and Excel. That is going to make Excel very, very sticky, because now you're just supercharging all these tools that you already use. So that's powerful. ChatGPT, you can see what they're having to do. They have to build their ecosystem. That's what they're not there. What Google has, they have to build, and that's why they're
that's why they're partnered so closely with Microsoft, right? So Copilot is basically kind of a crappy version of ChatGPT for Microsoft.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one stock, if I could buy them, they're not publicly traded, is Anthropic. Cloud is a beast.
It's good, eh?
It is good. And I'll tell you, you know what? My brother has to use Copilot because of his company. They are required, his accounting group is his CFO prepares him like 90 documents he has to file with the federal government. And so what he'll do is take those 90 documents, load them into AI and say, point out every discrepancy. And so where he used to need like 3 or 4 accountants to run through it and double check the CFO's work, AI does it in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. There's no question. I mean, you see people kind of poo-pooing AI. Oh, it's a fancy chatbot. Like they're way off. I mean, and I think it's just kind of getting started, isn't it, Mark? Like we're really just starting to see adoption across. It's one thing to have it at home, but we're starting to see it get more adopted, and that's why you're seeing the data plays lately do very well.
Yeah.
Snow, the Palantirs, because anybody who can come in and help you figure out how AI can help you more is going to be in demand. So we're really, I mean, from that standpoint, we are first pitch of the first inning, second pitch in terms of how this starts to kind of push out throughout the economy. So that's kind of what's exciting about it, about this stage anyway.
That inference piece, I mean, you're on top of it. We are working to make inference a major part. We're using AI heavily here, right? Alpha AI, Andrew's working on one. I'm working on another one. I know you've got your fingers in a lot of different things. But there's a lot of excitement around this. So, this is Apple, of course, now up. You can't stop Apple.
No, it's real. I mean, this is all real. Now, you and I live in the world of, okay, there's reality, and then stocks do, they kind of ebb and flow. And so we're always trying to navigate that. That's where having experience, it really, really matters. And that's how we can help guide everybody. But, that's the fun part to me, is to see those are some of the great opportunities. When I see somebody get a narrative a little bit wrong, they think AI means this to some company, and I go, no, it actually might mean the opposite. That is where you see a narrative push things in one direction, and you have these fantastic opportunities. And we've been doing that all year in all of our services and programs.
Absolutely. And the implementation here is saving us time, energy, money, and also helping us deliver even better stuff to our users, which is really kind of fun and exciting. Any questions for me and Hans, traders? Any questions for us?
What are you guys trading these days?
On the news, futures are higher. What Rocket?
I like it.
It's up.
Yeah, we saw mortgage rates hit a new low, even though we've seen yields kind of push up a little bit recently. So today was kind of an interesting day, because we talk about concentration a lot, how it's just a few stocks kind of doing a lot of lifting, and that was very true, and maybe even more so because Meta, as you can see, had a tough day. So even within MAG and the big tech, you have some sort of bifurcation happening. And outside of that, it was a difficult day for some of the higher beta. So, but having said that, IWM's kind of hanging in there. I know you talk about that a lot, Mark. Yeah, I'm a big believer. I do believe that this, and you are seeing some evidence of that, that there is a gradual move. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, our play on SNDK was an absolute beast. My only regret is selling it when it was at 185 and not waiting to 200. But the small cap portfolio, Hans and I are evaluating new names to add into that on a regular basis. I'm going to be preparing a report to go out for that next week, so be on the lookout there. And Man, Apple, it is a beast. Now at $4, you can't stop Apple.
No, I can't get enough.
And then, like I said, so this is a good question, and then we'll close on this. All right, Hans, I got a gun to your head. All right, you have to buy either Amazon, Reddit, or Apple, and you have to hold it for a year.
Oh,
which stock are you buying?
I was hoping you'd throw in Google there, but okay, this is more challenging, right?
Yeah.
I think I gotta say Apple. I gotta say Apple. I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. My temptation is Amazon, especially after they've shown some stability here on the cloud side. So that just kind of puts them back in the game. But the excitement around Apple, the AI in your pocket, and the things that I have this feeling that it's going to head to around 325. Yeah, I kind of like that, but it's close. I have to say it is close, especially after tonight's results from Amazon. Very close, and Amazon is by far the better value pick. So if you wanted to sort of look for value, steady Eddie, and I've been saying this lately, I've been saying, listen, you can go out and buy thousands of different stocks that have a connection to AI in all kinds of crazy areas and high beta stuff. You really don't have to look much farther than a Google and some of the mags, because they are really driving the bus on all of this. They just have so much power. And so the value play without question would be Amazon. That is a steady Eddie. You can own that for the next 10 years, in my view. Medium term, maybe I'd go with Apple, but it's not, it's just getting edged out.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, Amazon, I continue to think that 5 years from now, we're going to be talking about Google and Amazon as the two most valuable companies in the world. And so I like Amazon a lot. Now, if I'm looking for like just like a cocaine trade, Reddit, right? But if I've got a stock that I need to put in my portfolio and not think about, obviously Apple, you're never going to really lose a lot owning Apple. Pays a dividend, the stock buybacks, things like that. If I want to kind of like really have some growth there, I'm looking at Amazon, and I think it's going to be a $300 stock by the time, potentially by the end of the year. Will AI pull people away from Reddit? No. If anything, it's going to pull people toward Reddit because they're going to want to talk to real people, right? So I can talk to, like, think about how much better this is with me and Hans than if it was me and a chatbot. Chatbot Hans.
Humanoid Hans. Humanoid Hans. Double H.
Nobody wants to see that.
No.
All right. So, yeah,
all
folks, we're going to wrap up here in a second. I just want to see. All right. Everybody type 1 if you think Apple's going to be, a year from now, Apple's going to be the best performer. Type 2 if you think it's going to be Amazon. Type 3 if you think it's going to be Reddit. Type 4 if you think it's something else. There we go. All right, Ted's a Reddit guy. Casper's going 4.
I may have to change my answer to Amazon.
Nvidia.
Amazon's trading at like 10-year, last I checked, 10-year lows on like free cash flow to enterprise value. Like it's
got a lower PE than Apple.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
It's too good. Yeah. It's too good.
It is.
And they can sell anything, right? Like the sky's the limit for what these guys can do.
Oh yeah, you can buy anything you want on there. You could buy a chatbot Hans if you want. If you want to buy a robotic Hans, you can get it on Amazon.
They've got those Tranium chips too. I don't think they even sell them, but at some point they could branch into chip making. They could branch into robotics. They wrote the book on that in the early 2000s. That's why that's how they got ahead. They bought Kiva, and so they could they have so many potential revenue streams that they probably don't even have time for, that they are the true juggernaut.
Absolutely.
And Google.
All right, everybody. We want to say thank you for joining me and Hans this afternoon. If you're not reading Hans's option pit income newsletter that he puts out, you need to change that. The guy, I've done pretty well last year. Hans has blown the doors off with his performance. So I would invite you to check out Hans's writing, Hans's work. And if you're interested in joining Turbo Income, which everybody here should be, give my team a call, 888-872-3301. Ted and his team will give you a extra good price because, you know, Hans has been so right with everything. And if you want to join Hans's letter, it's free, and you can just read Option Pit Income. Hans, thanks again for your time. Always a pleasure. You know, you and I can sit here and, you know, I'd like to go fishing with you sometimes, because you and I can literally just chat markets all day while we fish.
Nonstop. You know? The fish would be irritated. The fish would be irritated.
They'd be like, would you two shut up? Yeah, I don't care about Reddit. All right, everybody. So
fishing's a quiet sport. Could you just keep it down a little?
So for our head of income trading, the man who just turbos it, Hans Albrecht, I'm Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Hope everybody has a great evening.